the task of missions, or you could also include strategy for missions. The world's population in the year 2020 is about 7 billion people. 1/3 of them claim to be Christian, and that includes Roman Catholics and other religious Christian groups and sects. 68% of the world's population, that's 2 out of 3, do not acknowledge Christ as Savior. Even though there are 195 countries in the world today, the challenge on hand is mainly, heavily, in the most populous and least evangelized countries. I'll pick out 4 clear parts of the world. Number 1, China, the most populated country in the world, and it's communist, Red China. India, number 2 populated, and it's Hindu for the most part. Indonesia, number 4 populated after the USA. USA is kind of Christian, so let that out. Number 4th populated is Indonesia, but it's number 3 among the non-Christian based countries, and it's Muslim or Islamic. And then fourthly, you have the 1040 window, which is between 10 degrees and 40 degrees north latitude, from North Africa to southern into the Gulf countries. So that's very hard area to reach out with the gospel into. Yet, this is the task or strategy of mission. So we're strategizing, we're seeing where the main thrust ought to be. Yet we have a huge percentage of our missions emphasis into super-saturated missionary countries. What do I mean by that? For the USA, for example, that's Mexico. It's right south of the border. It's extremely convenient. You can take truckloads upon truckloads of construction materials and food and other stuff, and it gives us a feel-good experience. But that's not anywhere ranked among the top 4 that I just mentioned: China, India, Indonesia, and the 1040 Islamic window. For Australia, the supersaturated missionary solution is PNG, Papua New Guinea. It's just north of the border, even though there's a little ocean between the countries. And another major target for Australia is the Philippines. So we got to watch that we don't go to our favorite spots, that we are strategic in our missions outreach. I didn't say we can't go to those countries, but we need to be strategic in our missions outreach. Missiologist, well known, Dr. Peter Wagner, said decades ago that most North American missions funding goes to Central and South America with the least results. Please, I'm not trying to create any offense here, but it's not like the moment the last Mexican receives Christ that the Lord Jesus is coming back. No. The Lord Jesus said, "This gospel shall be preached unto all the world, and only then shall the end come." There's a town on the southern border of Texas, just north of the Mexico border, called McAllen. McAllen, Texas, is known as the missionary graveyard. Missionaries kind of live just north of the border. Teams or groups or families come down. They just take them for a little trek around across the border, hand out goodie bags which are filled with candies to poor Mexican children, and they've had this feel-good experience. Now, we're talking about strategic planning in missions, the task of missions, and strategizing our missions focus. Check out your own church's mission support giving. Wherever you are in North America, that's US and Canada, you check out your own church's missions giving. You will be surprised to find, I'm going to venture comfortably, maybe between 40 to 60% does indeed go to Central and South America, if not more than that. And for Australia, I said about a majority goes to Papua New Guinea and the Philippines. So we need to be proactive and bring about a deliberate change. We need to be focused and target where we are putting our mission's emphasis and thrust. God says in Psalms 2 verse 8, "Ask of me, I will give you the nations as an inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession." So our missions giving ought to be likewise focused. It ought not to be done, our missions giving should not be done out of a sense of guilt. Even that should be focused and deliberate. It should not be indiscriminate giving like throwing darts at a dartboard, but focused and deliberate. One bit of good news is that when a local church backs or partners, supports a missionary, they can sustain that support for an average of about 15 to 20 years. But with individuals, however, this time frame is usually less, as there are various factors that affect an individual or family or a couple. They could have more children, they could move to another location or another church, they could have a job change, they might even lose their job, so many changes. But a church usually will back a missionary for a longer period of time. Now, listen to these 3 points. The nature of evangelism is to preach the gospel. The purpose of evangelism, we're talking about missions here, is to save souls, for people to commit their lives to Christ. And the goal of evangelism is to disciple these souls through teaching. So now, where does our local church stand on global missions? Here's a little test. All churches globally fall into one of these 4 categories. Are you ready? Number 1, or maybe somewhere in between them. Mission blind. Blind. They're so consumed with their immediate needs and what's happening in the local church and the local community, they haven't even considered sowing into the foreign mission field. I describe that as an ingrown toenail. It's going to hurt us in the end. Mission blind. Second is mission dawn. They're just beginning to wake up. Just beginning to wake up to the fact that there's a world out there, that millions, billions don't know Jesus and are lost in their sin. They need to come to know Christ. Third is mission ablaze. There's a church I've heard of somewhere in the U.S. They've got a picture of a little map, of outline of every single country in the world. There were 195 countries or whatever. And right beside that, or below that, is a picture of the missionary they support in each country. But there's many countries, that's nearly 200 countries, where they don't have a missionary. So guess what they have there instead of a picture? They've got a little mirror, so you see your own face. I like that. That's a great idea. I think it's really cute. But my focus here is coming to number 4. We've seen mission dawn, mission blind, mission dawn, mission ablaze, gung-ho and wild. And number 4 is mission focused. We need to ask, where's the greatest need? I've been through it already. Communist China, Hindu India, Islamic Indonesia, and then the 1040 window of the Arab countries. That should be targeted primarily with people, human resources, and financial resources for the spread of the gospel, for the salvation of souls in those places. That's mission focused. And the old paternalistic model of missions was where the Western missionary worked among the people in the target nation. More and more that has become outmoded today. Now the local leaders, let's call them nationals, the national leaders are more than capable of raising up their own today, which is a great thing, as anyhow it's becoming nearly impossible to obtain visas to go to these countries. Many Western missionaries have literally been deported, or their visa is simply rejected, not granted. National leaders, on the other hand, from their own countries, have no language problems, no visa, no food problems. So the way forward is definitely to teach, train, and equip national leaders. So for those Western missionaries who still remain, the goal ought to be to work themselves out of a job so that the locals can stand on their own feet and propagate the gospel onto their own people. And last but far from least is the point of missionary accountability. Who is the missionary that lives thousands of miles away from their overseeing, sending, and sponsoring church? Who is he or she accountable to locally in the country and city where they live thousands of miles away? There must be a check and balance system, or else we are setting them up for a fall. No excuses on this one. Do we love them enough to care for their spiritual and emotional health and well-being? And in that country overseas, the missionary needs to be accountable to more than just one other local minister. There have been and there are too many examples of a breach of trust and betrayal. Because if this system of a personal accountability is not in place, then the fault is that of ours as the sending church or organization. We must love them enough to have a supporting accountability structure overseas. God bless you.